Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me and see me okay. Hi, Walter. Hi, Shirley. Hello, Melissa. I hope you're all having a lovely Monday. So we're going to have some fun tonight, I think. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat so I know everything's hooked up correctly. And then we'll start talking about all the fun goodies I have on my desk. Hello, Penny. Hello, Karen. Okay. So tonight we have another amazing bundle to go ahead and play with today. This is called the Comforting Hugs Bundle. It has a lot of mixed media stuff in it. It has this gorgeous 6x8 stamp set. And not only do you get the stamp set, but you also get the coordinating dies. So you get the combo with this one, with this bundle tonight. So lots of fun. I love this bundle. We have this Field of Flowers mixed media stencil, 6x6 driftwood paper, which is one of my favorite paper pads, and some midnight cardstock. And then we also have some chroma glaze and 3 different colors of aqua pigment to share with you tonight. So let's get started. We're going to start with the thing that's going to take the absolute longest to dry, and that is the chroma glaze. So what I want to do for my card base tonight is I want to have multiple layers for my card front, not my card base. So we're going to start with cutting down all of those layers. Okay, so Melissa says if she's talking, there's no sound, but Walter says he can hear me. I think we're okay. Yeah, Petty says we're okay too, so I think we're all right. All right, so we're going to start with some Not Your Mama's cardstock because that's what we're going to go ahead and stencil on tonight. Then from the driftwood, I've chosen this pattern paper. And we're going to get some midnight cardstock. Made myself a little cheat sheet because mathing is not my strong suit. Mathing and I, we are not friends. So I made myself a cheat sheet so that I can go ahead on this little Post-it notes and go ahead and cut all these papers down to the correct dimensions. So the midnight cardstock is going to be cut at 4 by 5 1/4. Five 1/4. There we go. And then the beautiful driftwood paper, which will be our next layer, I'm going to cut that at 3 3/4 by 5. Hi, Dawn. Hello, Heather. Hi, Jamie. Dawn says, AKA Prince of Peace. I'm guessing that's you, Dawn, right? All right, so those are our 2 bottom layers. And then, Not Your Mama's cardstock, we're going to cut that at 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. And this is the panel that we are going to go ahead and get messy with. So we're going to take our stencil. First, look how gorgeous the stencil is. Like, it's so pretty. I love it. I love it so much. So find a part of the stencil you like. It can be any part of the stencil that you like. Just find a place that you think is pretty. And then Are you at work tonight, Dawn? Well, I'm not sure where you are, so maybe it's not night work. Maybe it's not nighttime where you are. I'm just taking literally like some washi tape from my stash that's right here on my desk. Pixie tape would be ideal. I ran out. Which is kind of what happens when you're like me and you're constantly crafting. You run out of stuff. All right. Constantly running out of stuff. I had to order a tape runner today. Depending on where you are in the world will depend on how long this takes to dry. The glaze. It takes a good bit of time for mine to dry. So I'm going to do this panel, set it aside to dry, and then I have one already dry and ready to go. The other reason why it takes a long time probably is because I like a really thick coat of glaze. I am by no means stingy when I put glaze through a stencil at all. I like, not only do I like to have the pattern, but I like to put enough on that I get like a nice bit of dimension too. So when it's all dry, we don't just have the color, but like also a nice bit of dimension. That is just a personal preference, and you do not have to do that. You can put a nice thin layer, whatever your little heart desires. There's no wrong way to put chroma glaze through a stencil. Oh, John says she's me at night, but she is the Prince of Peace when she's at work. I can see that. So our card project tonight, I'm going to be very ambitious with you. But I feel like when I verbally say something, it actually occurs. So tonight's card project has a very specific recipient. First of all, I want to make more than one. So we're going to do one card tonight, but my plan is to make a couple of cards. So a little bit about my family. Do you want to hear a little bit about my family? Like, is that something that interests you at all? Okay. Here is, I guess not. Let's do the reveal. Dun, 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 dun. There's our reveal. You can see like lots of texture. I like it to be textury and awesome. Maybe not quite that textury. I'm gonna grab that little piece there that's becoming like a little top hat. We don't want a top hat. Okay, there we go. So there is that gorgeous, gorgeous chroma glaze through the stencil. Okay, so back to a little bit about my family. I come from a very large family. So I am the oldest of 7. I have 5 sisters and a brother. And my whole family, all but one of my sisters, has children. My children are the oldest grandkids by quite a bit. So my kids are both over 18 and such, but the next like youngest is about 6 or 7 years younger than that. the next group of kids. So I have a lot of nieces and nephews, like loads of them. And my plan is that I'm going to make these cute little cards with this stamp set. Right now, I am looking for something to clean up this mess, because what do I always forget to grab before I go live? Something to clean up with, right? Ugh, constantly. Anyway, hi, Annie. So I have lots and lots of nieces and nephews. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot, like double digits. So my plan is to make each of my nieces and nephews one of these little cards, because they're going back to school. School is hard. I know school's hard because I homeschooled both of my boys clear to graduation. And then I'm going to put a little gift card. So in theory, each of my nieces and nephews will get one of these cards we are going to make. And then inside will be a little gift certificate to like an ice cream place or something fun that they can go ahead and do. Maybe I'll give the ones that live far away a gift certificate to Scoozies, because that would be awesome. They could go in and get candy and be done. So anyway, something. I'm going to get them something. So that's my plan for this card project for today, is to make lots of them, one for each of my nieces and nephews. Here is what that gorgeous pastel chroma glaze looks like when it is all dried. Isn't that absolutely stunning and beautiful? I love it. So this is all dried. The one that I pulled off Big Reveal, I put it over to the side. It will dry. It'll be beautiful. I hope you can see, like, because I put such a nice thick layer of the chroma glaze onto this paper, it actually is like bumped up. So it has that fun texture. It does, as it dries, it's maybe not as raised as it is when you put it on fresh, but it still has that raised kind of pretty look to it. Okay, so here is back to our card plan. 1, 2, 3 layers. And then for this center, we're going to no line watercolor with some just aqua pigments. And we might have to pull in a green aqua pigment, because I didn't realize when I was putting this whole bundle together, I forgot that there was like leaves here, and I feel like leaves can't be purple, brown, or white. Maybe, I don't know. So, okay, so if you've never done no line watercoloring, what does that entail? No line watercoloring is not hard at all. All you need is a really, really light ink color or embossing ink. So if you use, say, Brutus Monroe's embossing ink and stamp it good, so you just have the watermark and not the lines, then you can use that without a problem. You can I would honestly go through your stash and find just super light dye-based ink. It has to be dye-based, because as we start to paint with it, it's going to disappear, which makes it really, really cool. The other thing we are definitely 100% going to be using today is this, which is the Stick and Stamp Pigment Palette. Love this so much. I love it so much I have 2 of them, because I don't want to lose it. And anytime I want to no line watercolor, this is awesome. So there's 2 sides to this. One, it says blending brush pouncing area, so you can, pounce off your blending brush. And then the other one says a pigment palette. I sort of just like to use this side. I don't really use this side. You can use it maybe we can use it today, because the idea behind it is to use it to mix some of the palettes, the aqua pigments. But honestly, we don't have any colors that when we mix them together will make green. So we probably will just use this side. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the small paper onto my Stick and Stamp mat, because that will keep my paper from sliding all over my glass mat. and it will help me to be able to paint a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and get our aqua pigments done. Heather said you've never seen me garden. Gosh. Well, I guess. I haven't taken the label or the plastic off of this one yet. So we have creamy violet, brown, and white aqua pigment here. I have a cup of water, and I have the skinniest, thinnest paintbrush that I could possibly find. And then we're just going to go ahead and get these good and mixed up. And so the other thing I'm now noticing as I look at this is we might need to pull in pink too. I didn't look at it. Trust me, I did look at this before I chose the pigment. But you know. All right, let's start with our brown and get the bulk of our dog together. So I'm just going to put a couple dots down. So today is National Dog Day, or International Dog Day, or Dog Day of some sort. I am just dipping my paintbrush in water. So my question to all of you is, do you have a dog? Because I have two, and they are my babies. So this is how I like to do no-line watercoloring. I like to start with the lines. So I like to come in and around and get the lines of my image. And this is where that light colored ink comes in, because when you get done, you won't be able to see the lines from the stamped image at all. It will just disappear. I am doing white on dry technique. You can also do wet on, or I'm doing wet on dry technique. You can also do wet on wet, but I wouldn't do that unless you want something that's not super precise. If you want something that is very precise, which I think is what I'm going for here, pretty precise, and you want something that is, you want to do the wet on dry. Plus, I don't want these aqua pigments to go onto my spots, because I want to come in with the white and use the white to do the spots. So, oh, hi Candy. Nice to see you tonight. Shirley says she has 3 dachshunds and a chihuahua. I have a dachshund too. I have a dachshund and a rescue. He is part pit bull and part Labrador. And he is the sweetest dog, but also he thinks that he's the size of the dachshund. So he likes to, you know, get up on your lap and do all the things the dachshund does, which doesn't work out too well because he's huge. He weighs probably a solid 85 pounds. So if you'll notice here, the way that I'm doing this, having this smaller paper on my stick and stamp mat means that I can spin this around, and it is a huge help when you're painting to be able to spin this all around. And the other thing you will notice is that I paint left-handed. Fun fact, I'm actually ambidextrous. So depending on what activity I'm doing, Depends on whether I use my left hand or my right hand. For painting, we're going to use our left hand. And I also use my left hand when I write, but when I am fussy cutting intricate objects, I can't cut or use scissors with my left hand. I have to use my right hand to cut or use with scissors. Interesting. I'm just really looking closely at this image that I'm painting because I want to make sure that I don't paint something a color that shouldn't be that color. And because the ink is so light, sometimes it's easy to get a little bit lost with your different images, the different parts of your image. So we're just going to go ahead and kind of catch. There we go. I think the more I look at this and how it's all drawn, I think I've already said this too. I think I'm going to have to pull in some more colors of aqua pigment. So that's okay. I'll tell you what the names are. And then if you can grab those in addition to your bundle. How's that? Everyone's so quiet tonight. I feel like there's little like tumbleweeds. I mean, there's 18 of you here, which is totally awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. I tend to get lost in my watercoloring, which is what I'm trying super hard not to do. Because otherwise it'll just be like really quiet. And I know you guys can't hear it, but there are so many crickets outside. I love the sound of crickets. So our little dog is coming along very nicely. So what do you guys think of my plan for these cards? Sound good with all my little nieces? Wouldn't you like to have an aunt that would send you a handmade card when you started school with a little gift certificate that just said, "You're lovely"? I think so. So you get a little bit of that aqua pigment and you just go around the edge of your image. You almost want it to be like a little bit more full strength for this edge. And then you can always come back. And when you do the inside, you can make the inside a little bit lighter. So I'm actually intentionally taking some of the watercolor from where it is more concentrated. And then for the dog, for the little dog, the little puppy that's in this image, I'm going to come back in with some more water and I'm going to make this even lighter, and that way you'll be able to tell a little bit better like what is the adult dog, what parts and pieces are the adult dog and what parts and pieces are the baby dog. Has anyone on here ever done any kind of watercoloring like this before? Maybe you've used just aqua pigments like this. I love this technique because I love the act of painting, like the fun of painting, but I have no drawing skills whatsoever. So this way, I can take advantage of someone else's drawing skills and I can just enjoy the painting part. Oh, that's really cool, Dawn. Thank you for sharing that. It's good to know I'm not the only one. I mean, I knew I wasn't the only ambidextrous person out there, but you don't meet us very often. Okay. Get his little eye. There we go. So whenever you hit an area that you think you want to kind of spread out a little more, you want an area to blend a little bit better, you can always come in with just some straight water instead of always having the color. And just be very careful that you don't overwork your paint or overwork your paper, because you don't want your paper to pill, which can be a distinct possibility. I'm sure someone's going to come in and say, you could use a different paper. Yes, yes, I could. I will say this, with no line watercoloring, the trick for me, and this would again just be to each person his own preference. I like to have a paper that is smooth. So most watercolor papers have that texture, that tooth to them. And I prefer a completely smooth paper. And then you just have to be careful when you have a completely smooth paper that you don't overwork your ink or your painting. How cute. Let's push this up here so you can see him a little bit closer. Not done, but look how cute. So cute. All right. I'm going to move my water over here because I really want to add a good bit more water to this. First of all, your aqua pigment, when you put it on this palette, it will start to dry out, which is good because you can always reconstitute it. So that's not a big deal at all. What I'm going to do, kind of my game plan here, is I want a separate, similar but different color for the little dog, because he's nestled right in here, and I want you to be able to tell that there are two dogs. I don't want to get done with this and have it look like it's a blob. Okay? And since I'm going to work with this paper, I'm going to work with this project one color at a time. Thank you, Heather. Yes, he's so cute. I'm going to go ahead and kind of water down. And then we should be good. We should be able now to do the puppy. And I just realized I missed the other adult dog's little hand here, but that's okay. We'll get him when we go through. I want to make sure that you can see the difference between the two dogs. I want you to be able to tell that there are two dogs here. And I think this will work really, really well. Oh, hello, Jerry. Nice to see you here with us tonight. How are you this evening? Thank you. Isn't he adorable? We're doing some no-line watercoloring tonight. We're talking about my family a little bit. And we're making a beautiful no-line watercolored panel. We had to go with the dog because the dog, it is International Dog Day, so we needed to do the dogs for tonight. Be sure to check out that bundle. That is such a good price, especially when you consider that you're not just getting the stamp, you're going to get the coordinating dies to go with it. And I think that this stamp set could be used for so many things. Lots and lots of really, really fun usable images. The other thing, so I had a couple of other ideas when I was looking at this stamp set that I can tell you about. One of them is using this whale image, and so stamping it on some of the driftwood paper and then paper piecing sections of it so that maybe the whale is not colored, but maybe he's one of those wood grains. There's a really nice blue wood grain in that pack, so you could stamp it on the, I'm getting distracted. You could stamp it on the driftwood paper, right? And then you could fussy cut just like the top of the whale, and then maybe you could do his bottom piece a little bit of a different color, and then you could paper piece it, which would be super, super fun. If that makes sense. So I'm going to come in with some of the darker. So we have on the palette, you can see here, we've got some lighter areas, and I'm using those lighter areas to do the puppy. And then we still have some darker, little darker areas that I can use to help with maybe some of the lines, or like I missed his little paw. So then the animals will look different, which is what we really, really need for this. We need them because the animals are hugging. We need them to look, you need to be able to see which animal is which, so to speak. And we don't need a whole new color of paint to achieve that. We just can add a little bit of water, and then one can be lighter and one can be darker. I feel like we should have some piano music playing in the background. What's everybody? Wait, Heather asked, what does everyone like in their coffee? Milk, just milk. No creamer, no sugar whatsoever. Not black. Just milk. And that's how I like my tea too. I'm so boring. I also like vanilla lattes, provided they're not super, super sweet. Like I don't like the fakey ones. It's the only way I can think to describe them. Okay, so up here, the dog's ears. There says, I see your coffee. Well, this is water. Oh, this is water. See, it's my paint water. It's in a coffee mug though. My special paint water. So I am going to layer these more. So if you see here, I did the dots, and I did the dots on both of the dogs pretty heavy-handed with the color, right? Because I want you to still see them after I'm done painting them, right? So now I'm coming in with more of this pigment, but it's got a lot of water in it. And I'm just going to go over this fast and loose, so that it's going to color the ears, but you're still going to be able to see all of those dots, the little polka dots, which is what I want. So just come in fast and loose and then walk away. That's all right. It started everyone talking, which is perfect. Okay. So I'm going to pull this up here. Can you see how the dogs look different? How we made them look different. So you can tell which dog is which. And they don't look like one big brown blob. That was what I was worried about. We don't want one big brown blob. I think we got it. Ooh, Jerry said she started to add cinnamon to her coffee. That sounds amazing. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to leave that up there. I'm going to add one drop, just one drop of the pigment. Heather, can I cheat and get some pink aqua pigment and add some pink aqua pigment to my puppies so that they have nice pink noses, please? Me too. Jerry said, or Heather said she loves the details. So do I. I tend to be a very detailed oriented crafter. Little details are my favorite. So we're adding that purple, creamy violet right there. Heather said I can add pink to my dogs. Yay, they need pink. They really do. Okay, let's go. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute while I find the pink aqua pigment from my stash. Oh, I did pretty good. That didn't take me very long. Go me. Yes, Jerry said yes. Just by adding more water, you can see the puppy. Yep, and that's what I wanted. I want to. We don't want a brown blob. We want to be able to see that we have. Everyone can add it too. There you go. So when you go over to the website and grab the bundle, which is really on sale. I mean, the retail value of the bundle for tonight is $97 and some change, and it's on sale for $50. So that is a really awesome deal. And then when you go in, grab some pink aqua pigment too, because that's how your dog is going to get his pink nose. I am going to water this down a lot because this pink, it's like insane pink. It's really, really pink. And I don't want really, really pink. I just want a little pink for their little pink noses. And then we're going to do their little dots, spots, I guess. We're going to do those with the white pigment ink. And then our puppy dogs will be done. So there's our little pink noses. Like Penny says, go for neon pink noses, and then you can see in the dark. Oh boy. Something else I really, really love about aqua pigments is that they dry so nice and fast. I'm going to clean my brush off really good. Now, for the white, you tell her, Heather. All right. So I'm going to make sure, first of all, that there is nothing on my palette, because any color that might be on your palette will go ahead and mix with that white, and then we won't have the white. I am going to add no water to the white. There's going to be a little water on my brush because my brush will be wet, but that's it. And the reason for that is because I really want these lovely dogs to have white spots. And the pigment ink is going, or the aqua pigment is going to pull in a little bit of that brown that's around the edges, but I don't want it to pull in a lot of it. So I don't want to add more water than I absolutely have to. I want to add just enough that I can move the paint, but not so much that I end up with brown polka dotted dogs. Because again, we don't want any brown blobs. We want super cute polka dot dogs. Go. So cute. Focusing on my little dog right now. My little dog. Okay. Oh, very good. I agree with Penny. The consumable pink bundle would be a great addition. That would be perfect. Okay, I am going to add the only part we have left to do on our cute little puppy dogs is the little bit around their eyes. I know that really no matter what I do here, so I want to thin the aqua pigment up, and then I want to do what I did with the ears. Remember with the ears? And I was like, just go in real quick and just add a little bit. That's what we're going to do. Just a little bit of paint, just a quick swish, swish, swish. And then he'll have white eyes, the white around the eye, but you'll still be able to see the eye that I did. Just a little bit of paint and a little bit of swish, 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 and you're good. And that's a technical term, by the way, swish, swish, swish. There we go. What do you guys think? Isn't that the cutest dog ever? And you can see both the puppy and the adult dog. It's perfect. So I'm gonna pull this out. We're gonna let it dry for a second. Hold on a second. I have to check the time. I think we're over time. Oh, 8 minutes. No way. Okay. So in 8 minutes, I'm gonna wipe this off quick. Quick is the name of the game right now. And then we're just gonna go ahead and let's do 3 of the little hearts, and we'll do those in purple. And that'll give us a little bit of something for our card front with our dog. Just a little something. Because, I mean, he's going to look adorable, but I feel like just a little bit of the other thing that I'm not sure how I feel about is putting that dog through my die cutting machine when it still is not 100% dry. So we might just cut that panel down a little bit and place it right there on the card. Because I don't know how brave I feel about that. The chat is so quiet tonight. I keep checking to make sure everyone's still here. All right. Then we'll do this one over here. And then we will put this card front together. So after you get your bundle and you make this card at home, I also have like some leaves and some little flowers here that you could also go ahead and color and place around your little puppy dogs. So there's lots and lots of fun options for little scattering pieces. Okay. I don't want to waste this, and it's super pretty. So you know what? I'm going to set this aside and let it dry. And then I can come in and just spray it with some water, and then it will reconstitute, and I can use it for another project, I can come back in and color up these flowers. I could come in and create another card and use this on that. Go ahead and set that aside. I'm not going to put this on a card base tonight. I'm going to just go ahead and get the card front done, and then I can, once I have the other cards done, I can kind of batch, put them all on a card base, and then add the gift cards and send them out. Okay. I love that this pairs, like the cardstock is on the darker side, right? And then the driftwood pattern papers, there are some really light white colored patterns in that pad. But I chose this one for tonight, and it's a little bit darker, but then that stenciled panel just pops. I'm going to go ahead and trim this down. I am not going to die cut this tonight. I think that it would look lovely die cut, but I don't want, I just spent all that time painting it. And if it's not 100% dry, and if it should just happen to smear when I put it through my die cut machine, I would be so upset. Like so, I would cry. So we're just going to go ahead and trim him down and pop him right into the center of our card. And then I love how the way we colored him, the way we colored them, you have the brown from the edge, from the wood grain, that's going to complement the brown of the dog. We also have this like violet. His violet collar is also a good match to the colors in the rest of the card and their little pink noses. I'm just pushing this down to make sure it's gonna stick real good. And then we have our 3 little hearts, which I'm gonna reach over here and grab my scissors because we're gonna fussy cut them. Again, because I really don't think they're very dry and I don't want to put them through my die cut machine, but there is a die in the die set to cut that as well. And that stamp set has the cutest little scripty sentiment. And it says, I love you. And I think that that is the one we're going to use. I'm going to put it on the inside of all of these cards. We're just going to use that. There we go. I am loving how this is turning out. Aren't you guys loving how this is turning out? It's so, so cute. And then when your recipient gets this in the mail, you'll be able to definitely tell that they have hand painted a card for you. Even if you can't draw for anything like me. There we go. All right, there we are. I'm going to bring this up to you so you can see our cute little card front for tonight. How adorable. Oh my goodness. Perfect, perfect card for National Dog Day. Perfect card for little munchkins going off to school. And there we go. All right, everyone. I hope that you have enjoyed tonight's little tutorial. Oh, Dawn, I missed your comment about pink cheeks. We could totally have given him pink cheeks if we wanted. I think that in order to give him pink cheeks, you would just have to wait for this to dry. So it's not even damp at all. And then just add a little tiny pop of pink, a little aqua pigment right there. And that would be perfect for both of them. So that is our cute little card. I love him. Thank you. Mish said, here, just watching you work your magic. Hi, Shalana. I missed that when you came in too. Oh, all right, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. I'm so glad you enjoyed tonight's live. Don't forget to grab this bundle tonight so that you can have the stamp set and the dies, all these fun mixed media products. And since you've watched me do this, you know how to use them now, which is the best part. Thank you, Samantha. And add the pink consumable bundle because we definitely need to add some pink. We needed to add some pink to our little project tonight. All right, everyone, you have a wonderful, wonderful night, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye, everybody.